So when recording the direct reaction, my audio of my reaction actually got deleted. So I don't have that audio, so I'm actually just making this video. And anyways, my reactions weren't that interesting anyways, so it's for the better. And I'm going to be talking about why that's the case. So enjoy. What's good, everybody? And today I wanted to talk about the Nintendo Direct that happened on the 23rd. I just wanted to give my thoughts and feelings about it, because honestly I was pretty looking forward to this Direct. I was hoping for some stuff. You can call them high expectations or not, depending on how you look at it. This video is going to be non-script based, because that's just the way I like to do things. So I'm going to go over the Direct and all of its portions right now. So to kick things off, the Direct did start off with Monster Hunter. And from what I thought at first, I thought it was a new Monster Hunter, but instead it was actually just DLC. And then on top of that, it showed Hyrule Warriors, the Age of Calamity DLC, and then Mario Golf DLC. So that was a small portion of the Direct. And then it had some reshows of Metroid Dread, Mario Party, and Splatoon 3. Metroid Dread, they didn't show too much new. They had some sort of dialogue stuff, with some information about the game and the lore, which was interesting. And then they advertised their website to go read the rest of it or listen to the rest of it. I think though that should have been more focused, that shouldn't have been talked about, just game lore that people find on their own, and I want to get more into that later. Then they talked about Mario Party a bit. The Mario Party, they went over some boards. I wasn't sure if they were adding 5 more boards or they were showing off the rest of the boards that are being added to the game. There were some new mini games shown in there, and then some different modes, which I think was alright. It took a decent amount of time, but it showed off some decent information that I think a lot of people were looking for. And then here comes Splatoon 3 at the end of the Direct. It took the last 9 minutes of the Direct, and then some of it wasn't really interesting. They went for this, I don't know, sort of laboratory narration thing, which I didn't personally enjoy, because it didn't go over anything really new besides near the end. They just talked about how the turf wars worked, but everybody knows how they work. They're introduced the new mechanic briefly, and then they talked about a new portion of story mode. Barely. They just hinted at what it's gonna be about. Which once again, including the Metroid thing, I think that should be left for its story mode for people to discover on its own. Also in the Direct, they talked about Nintendo Switch Online. And they actually talked about adding N64 games to it, which I thought was really surprising. I never thought it was going to happen. I thought they were just going to keep it the way it was. But it's extra. So it seems like they're kind of treating it like a Game Pass sort of thing, which is really weird now, because the base online, no matter how long you get, a month, a year, or 3 months, the prices are different, but you always get NES games and SNES games with the online service. But now it seems like they're going to have an additional payment option that's going to be more if you want to combine it with the online service. And then Nintendo is just yeah, here's some of the oldest games, SNES and NES games, with the service, the online service that you already pay for. But here's an additional service that provides some of the same things as the regular online service, but is exclusive. They should make it either one or the other, just the online membership and just the games, or put it together. And what they're probably going to do is they're not going to make it separate. Like, you can't buy the N64 and Sega Genesis subscription on its own. You have to pay for it with the online service. It's not confirmed. It's not confirmed. I could be wrong about this, but I feel like that's just what they're going to do. Another, like, third, maybe, not even, of the Direct was Square Enix. And I don't know, when I was seeing their games, they had like the Chocobo Racing, which is just a Mario Kart. Then they showed off another game that was just Octopath Traveler style, but like a little different. I feel like they're releasing a lot of games that look like that. Like Octopath Traveler had its success, and then they're using that style and the very similar sort of gameplay mechanics and like story base with smaller different twists. And I could be wrong on the degree of the twists, but that's what I think it is. And I don't know, I feel like they're using that a lot, the Octopath Traveler assets a lot. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it just feels like the time span is very close together. And then you had your other games. I don't really know too many of them. Some of them could be stuff that people like. Some of them I feel like they would appeal to absolutely nobody but like 6-year-olds. And the problem is that if it's your Nintendo Direct, your big Nintendo Direct, not a Nintendo Direct Mini, not an Indie Direct or something like that, or a game-specific Direct, you're including these other smaller games. They aren't even like big third parties or anything like that. They're more smaller and more like exclusive to like certain people. More like indie stuff and like, you know, not to the same caliber as like a, I don't know, like Bayonetta 3 like they showed off, or you know, like a Sonic game would be, or something like that. It's not to that caliber, and they just put a bunch of those in the Direct, which they should have probably put off to the side for a different Direct, or like a mini or an indie Direct or something like that. And then they had the Directs within Directs. They had just, I liked how they did Smash, you know. They were like, oh, let's talk about Smash. There's going to be a Direct on October 5th. Okay, moving on. Animal Crossing, they did a little shtick with it. Like, let me walk in this museum, let me walk left. Direct. I don't know. Because when they say it's 40 minutes of content, and this goes for anything, it's not just the Animal Crossing Direct. Just get to your point, show it off, and let's move on. Right? Because then it comes into the whole, after like every game they show, my man's just goes, that was XYZ game. Did you know something that they clearly showed off? Something. This is really cool. Blah, 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 blah. Regurgitating information that the trailer just showed us. And they're re-showing the trailer with what he's talking about, even though we just saw that information. He's not giving any insight to what it is or what's coming up, or what should you expect. You should expect to see some new monsters in Monster Hunter. Wow, I didn't know that. Just move on. Stop doing these explanations that I think everybody can see. You're just padding the time. If you cut that out, it would have probably been like 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Just remove that stuff. It's not important. The last big portion of the Direct was the Mario movie. I can't give that any crap because that was also out of left field. They showed up big actors who are going to be voice acting them. They talked about it for a little bit. And I think, actually, the Mario movie stuff was less than the... Yeah, they spent less time on the Mario movie than they did on the Splatoon 3 lab experimental stuff. And that was more interesting, because that was all new information that like nobody knew about yet. They spent like half the time on the Mario movie than they did on Splatoon 3. Yeah, they had more information about Splatoon 3 that they could have showed off, but they just regurgitated information that everybody knows. Like, there's nothing new in these directs being provided. There isn't anything new, and that's the problem. There's no new stuff. Like 80% of it is retelling of information, whether that be through the mans talking or the games that they're showing as we already know, or we already expected it, or they talked about it before, or it was like put into parts and they're spreading across the direct, like the Hyrule Warriors Calamity DLC, and then the other like 20% is not 20%, like I don't know, 10, 15% is stuff that not that many people are gonna care about, and then finally your last 5% is new stuff. I just think that they have to fix their structure of the direct. So basically, all in all, I was pretty disappointed with the direct. I didn't really see anything that I would like. I had a problem with the whole structure in general. I'm not mad at anything they showed off. I was just disappointed. You know, I'm glad the big hitters that they showed. I just need something that's my personal tastes. But for a very select few, this was a good direct. But I think for a lot of people, it wasn't. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, let me know what you guys thought of it. Yeah, just let me know what you guys thought of it. Let me know if I'm wrong or anything like that. I would love to talk about it. And that's all for this video. You know, have a great day. Peace.